Hello everyone, my name is Nur Najwa binti Muhammad Aris, and with my group members Nurul Putri Alisha binti Sapini, Nur Balqis Alisha binti Karim Nizam, and Farah Aisyah Sofia binti Azmi. We will be presenting our assignment about overhead and job costing. In this video, we will explain how to calculate overhead cost and apply job costing in a business setting. We hope this presentation helps you understand the topic better. Let's get started. We choose the pepper shrimp roll recipe because it is simple to make and many people like to eat it. The ingredients are easy to find and not expensive. It also helps us to calculate the cost and overhead more easily for our assignment.
Our target units of sales per month is 40,224. How we get it is in 50 minutes we produce 3 shrimp rolls. So 60 hours divide 50 units. 8 hours multiply 2 workers multiply 22 days. In February, March and December, the target sales in increase because it has some festival. For example, Chinese New Year, Lantern Festival and Christmas. For the materials, direct materials we buy is shrimp, spring onion, pepper rice, garlic, soy sauce, oyster sauce, black pepper, sesame oil, water, seasoning and packaging. First, we buy shrimp 150 grams at 10 ringgit 50 cents. So we can produce 3 shrimp because we only use 90 grams for 1 roll. And the cost per unit is 3 ringgit 38 cents. Then the price of spring onion is 84 cents for 50 grams, but we only use 3 grams for 1 roll. And the sauce, so we can use 16 times for 2 of it. And the cost per unit is 0.05 cents. After that, pepper rice we buy is 20 units per 100 grams. So it can use 20 times at the cost per unit is 28 cents. Next, garlic. We buy 140 grams at 0.9 cents, but we use 14 grams, which is 2 pieces. The amount of garlic we make 10 sauce, and the cost per unit is 0.09 cents. Moreover, sauce soy is 745 ml at 7 ringgit, but we only use 8 grams, so we can produce 5,960, and the cost per unit is 0.08 cents. In addition, the price of oyster sauce is 4 ringgit, so we can produce 27.78 or 28 times. After that, the price of black pepper is 5 ringgit 60 cents for 100 grams, but we use 2 grams only, so we can produce 50 times. And the cost per unit is 1.11 cents. Next, sesame oil is 140 grams at 8 ringgit, but we produce 20 times, and the cost per unit cost 0.4 cents. Then we buy water 150 ml, but we use 31 ml, so we can produce 48 sauce, and the cost per unit is 0.02 cents. Second last of the material is seasoning. We buy 300 grams at 6 ringgit 13 cents, and it can be used 38 times because we use 3 grams, and the cost per unit is 0.16 cents. Last but not least is packaging. We buy 100 packs, so we can use 100 times, and the cost per unit is 1 ringgit 60 cents. And the total direct material is. For indirect materials, we have 2 materials, which is glove and tissue. Glove, 1 box have 100 pieces, so we use 50 for 2 workers. Cost per unit is 0.05 cent. And lastly, tissue we predict in a month we use 3 box which contain 300 pieces. So we use 40,224 times, and the total cost for indirect material is 0.05 cent.
In this section, we are showing the labor cost involved in producing our product. There are two workers, workers 1 and worker 2. And both are considered direct labor because their work is directly involved in the production process. Each worker is paid an hourly rate of 7 ringgit and they work 8 hours per day for 22 days per month, which gives a total monthly wage of 1,232 ringgit for each worker. Therefore, the total monthly labor cost is 1,232 ringgit multiplied by 2, which equals 2,464 ringgit. To find the labor cost per unit, we divide the total labor cost of 2,464 ringgit by the total number of units produced, which is 4,224 units. This gives a labor cost per unit of 0.58 ringgit.
I will explain about our production overhead. First, we have electric steamer. The cost of our electric steamer is 774 ringgit. We divide it by 12 months to get its monthly depreciation, which is 40 ringgit 50 cents. Second, for kitchen utensil, the total cost is 250 ringgit. We divide by 12 months, the monthly depreciation is 21 ringgit. Next, we have rental kiosk Mara, which costs 300 ringgit per month. This is the amount we pay for our business space. Then, for utility, which include electricity and water bill, the cost is 250 ringgit per month. After that, we have indirect materials such as cleaning, supplier, and packaging tools, which is cost 30 ringgit. When we add all these costs together, the total production overhead is 687 ringgit and 80 cents. So, in conclusion, our production overhead show all the indirect costs needed to keep our business running smoothly. Next, I will explain about our overhead cost per unit, OHR. We calculate it by dividing our total monthly overhead cost, which is 687 ringgit and 80 cents, by the total number of unit produced, 4,224. So 687 ringgit and 80 cents divide 4,224 equals 16 cents per unit. This means that for every product we make, 60 cents is charged as overhead cost, including expenses like rental, utility, depreciation, and Wi-Fi. This helps you to find the true cost per unit and make sure our selling price cover all expenses. For direct material per unit, the cost is 6 ringgit and 61 cents. This includes all the main ingredient and packaging material used to make one product. Second, the direct labor per unit is 58 cents. This refers to the wages paid to workers who are directly involved in producing the product. Lastly, the overhead costs per unit are 16 cents. These are the indirect costs such as electricity, water, and equipment used during production. When we add everything together, the total unit cost of production is 7 ringgit and 35 cents. This total cost will be used to determine our selling price in the next slide. The total cost for one unit is 7 ringgit and 31 cents. We decide to use a 50% markup to get our selling price. So, the conclusion is 7 ringgit and 31 cents plus 50% of 7 ringgit and 35 cents. The equal to 10 ringgit and 99 cents. After rounding up, our final selling price per unit is 11 ringgit. First, for direct material per unit, the cost is 4 ringgit and 76 cents. This includes all the main ingredient and packaging material used to make one product. Second, the direct labor per unit is 58 cents. This refers to the wages paid to workers who are directly involved in produce the product. Lastly, the overhead costs per unit are 16 cents. These are the indirect costs such as electricity, water, and equipment used during production. When we add everything together, the total unit cost of production is 5 ringgit and 50 cents. Explain about our profit markup. The total cost is 5 ringgit and 50 cents. We set our markup at 85%. So, the selling price is calculated as 5 ringgit and 50 cents plus 85% of 5 ringgit and 50 cents. That equals 10 ringgit and 18 cents. We round it up to 11 ringgit per unit. This is our final selling price per unit.
Next, I will talk about cost statement. For the production of paper shrimp roll, the cost structure is divided into three main components. First, direct materials. Direct materials are calculated at 66.61 per unit based on ingredients like shrimp, spring onion, rice paper, sauce, and packaging. Next, direct labor. Direct labor involves 2 cooks working full-time with a combined monthly wage of RM2,464. This translates to RM0.58 per unit. Third, production overhead. Production overhead includes depreciation of equipment, rental, utilities, and Wi-Fi, and others indirect costs amounting to RM687.50 monthly for RM0.16 per unit. This is how we use to get direct materials and direct labor. Next, I will talk about quotation. A formal quotation was issued to various street food on 20 October 2025 for the supply of paper shrimp rolls. The quoted price per unit is 11 ringgit with a total order value of 5,000 ringgit 500 for 500 units. Payment is to be made to Maybank account, which is Farah Aisha, as listed in the quotation details. Lastly, I will talk about conclusion. We have identified all production costs for paper shrimp roll using job and overhead costing. With a clear unit cost and strategic pricing, our product is profitable and ready for market. Monthly sales target and seasonal demand were also considered to support sustainable operation. That's all from our group. Thank you.